There is no more room in my womb.
My name is Cherry. I'm 28, I'm pregnant, and I feel way too young to become a mum.
Mother care is somewhere where other people go, not me. I go to Topshop.
But is there ever a right age to have a baby?
I don't think it matters how old you are.
I've only got 7 weeks to prepare for motherhood, so I'm going to travel around the country and meet young mums-to-be.
People think that you can't cope with a baby when you're 15. It's better than being 12.
Pregnant career mums.
I'll have the baby, 2 days later I'll come back to work.
And soon-to-be mums in their 40s.
I'm gonna be a mum. Yay!
Along the way, I'll get to see my first birth.
That is the nuttiest thing I have ever seen in my entire life.
And you're going to see mine. I'm going to try to find out if there is ever a perfect time to become a mum.
Like, I think that's when I realised that I was too young to have a baby after I'd had him.
Over the last 7 months, my body has gone through some scary changes.
Your boobs explode.
Piles, I just really didn't want those.
You go to the loo all the time.
That's the person who's been making me fart.
And to top it off, I'm completely terrified of birth.
I can't give birth. It's my worst nightmare.
Me and my boyfriend Roly have been together for a couple of years. We talked about having kids one day, but when I found out I was up the duff, it was a massive shock.
I was on the coil. It wasn't part of my life plan at that stage. I planned to work for another, 4, 5, 6 years before I started thinking about having kids. It was a massive, massive shock.
After years of working behind the camera, I'd finally got my first big break in telly as a presenter. There's no doubt that this is the ugliest face of booze. And getting my head around actually being pregnant has been tough.
You spend a long time making big decisions in your life, yet this one just happened overnight. I just felt like I'd slightly been taken hostage. So I'd have days when I'd sit on the end of my bed and just be in hysterics, like floods of tears. Because being pregnant and not being really glowing about it is so opposite to what I thought I would be.
But I know I need to face up to reality. It's gonna happen. In 7 weeks, I'm gonna become a mum. So I'm going to meet 7 women who have very different lives. The only thing they have in common is that they are all pregnant. Are they as scared as I am? Are they ready to have a baby?
Today I'm off to meet a 15-year-old girl who's pregnant with her first child.
East London, like many inner-city areas, has high numbers of teen pregnancies.
At 15, I'd had my first snog. No way was I in a place to have a baby at all.
The press love to give them a hard time, saying they're irresponsible and only get pregnant to get a council flat. But is that true? Or does it just make a good headline?
Hi, fellow preggers. Hi. Come on, embrace. Hi. How pregnant are you?
I'm 7 months. I ain't really scared about it.
Really?
I ain't really thought about it.
It wasn't an ideal thing for us to have a daughter of 15 come home and say, I'm pregnant. But obviously Paige couldn't wait, so there we go. Paige, can you pass Mummy the milk, please?
Paige isn't alone. Every day, 22 schoolgirls under 16 get pregnant.
How did you know you were pregnant?
Me and my boyfriend did what we wanted to do. And then the second time that we did it, the condom split, and I was a bit worried and I thought I was. So then I went and got a pregnancy test and I was.
How was it when your mum found out?
I was really scared. Couldn't stop crying.
She was crying, hysterical at me, and I went, calm down. I went, for crying out loud, I went, just calm down. Don't get yourself in a state. We'll deal with it.
She gave me the choice if I wanted to keep the baby, I'll get rid of her. But I said, no, I really want to keep her. It's just something about me, I couldn't have an abortion. It's like killing the baby, and it's not really the baby's fault. Never has to be put in that position.
Who's the daddy?
Mason.
A guy called Mason. And how old is he?
15.
And you guys still together?
Not at the moment, no.
You know, I phoned Mason's mum and she was, oh, no, 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 not my Mason. I said, well, yes, 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 you're Mason. Can you ask Mason if he had sex with Paige? She went, no, not me. Typical 15-year-old or 14-year-old kid at the time. No, not me. So I left it there. And we just went and got on with what we needed to do.
I was laying in my bed the other night and I looked at my scan photo and I felt the baby kicking and I was thinking, I can't believe that I'm pregnant. It's like a dream. I've got to wake up from this dream.
But for many pregnant schoolgirls, it's more of a nightmare than a dream.
I've had one person, I don't know who it is, they prank calling me on my phone, calling me a slag because I'm pregnant.
Oh, so you are feeding your baby? Not really sure, isn't it? So it's a slag. At least I'm not pregnant like you, bitch.
That's so weird. Why would someone call you up just to call you a slag?
Exactly, they've got nothing better to do. So I think it's pathetic because if they was pregnant, they wouldn't like it. And I don't think if they was pregnant, they would keep the baby. And they ain't really got the guts to do that.
Do you feel quite proud that you've made that decision to keep the baby?
Yeah, I just think people think that you can't cope with a baby when you're 15, but I think you can and prove everyone wrong, really, because you're still a good mum even though you're 15.
How are you feeling about the birth?
Not really scared. Might have a water birthday.
Oh my God.
How are you not scared?
I ain't really been thinking about it. I just can't wait till she's here.
Do you think 15 is quite young to have a baby?
It's better than being 12.
Babies don't come cheap.
£70.
That's really expensive.
But what I want to know is how she's going to look after her kid when she's still really a kid herself.
How are you finding money with the baby?
My nan gives me £20 like every month, so I'll put that £20 in the bank. So if I need nappies or baby food or anything like that, then I can go get it.
Are you worried about the finances? Are you worried about the money?
I think I'll have enough money for the baby. I've already got a tin of milk and the baby ain't even here yet.
Whilst I'm struggling to understand how Paige will cope with being a mum at 15, her mate Frankie has already been there, done that, and got the baby to prove it. And she was only 14.
Some people say about teen mums, the only reason they have babies is to get council flats and benefits.
You can't help getting pregnant. It's like sometimes it just happens, and I wouldn't want to live on my own. And I think I'd rather just live with my mum.
What is the hardest thing about being a mum at 15?
You can't do what you used to do.
And what did you used to do? What are the things that you miss doing?
Go to school.
Sometimes during the day I get really bored. Sometimes I think I'll be having a laugh with the school if I was here.
But for now, Paige is swapping classes for regular checkups with her GP.
So Paige, how are you doing?
Yeah, okay.
How many weeks are we now?
Oh, 32 tomorrow.
Have you booked or started any antenatal classes, Paige? You haven't. What are you thinking to do with them?
Accident. I was going to go, but then I missed them, so I thought I'm not going to book more because you don't really listen to what they say anyway. Because when you're in labour, you do the total opposite.
I really think they'd be really good and useful for you.
Do you want to try that then?
You haven't.
That checkup was quite different to me in that if I get told to do something by the doctor, I just do it. Paige, she just was like, not interested, I won't listen. Bye, Paige. Lovely to meet you. Good luck with everything, okay? I wonder how much of my view of this is coloured by the fact that this just never happens to anyone that I know. Whereas actually in Paige's world, this seems to happen quite a bit. To her, it's actually completely fine. And you know, she's not 12, so she's ready.
Paige thinks she can cope, but she hasn't had the baby yet. What's it really like being a teen mum?
Say hello.
So who's this?
This is Jaden.
Hi, Jaden. How old's Jaden?
19 months.
Amber lives in a hostel in East Sussex with 4 other teen mums.
I fell pregnant when I was 15, and then I had him when I was 16.
Big shock?
So, Yeah, it was a really big shock. But at the time I was with the baby's dad and that, and he said he'd stand by me. But we just kept arguing, and obviously it's stressful being young parents, and he's only just turned 17. So we decided to split.
The odds aren't good. Less than 1 in 5 boys will stick by their pregnant teen girlfriends.
And my baby's dad, he just sort of sat there in shock, like, oh, the baby's finally come. But then they put him in my arms, and just fear went through me of I didn't know how to look after him, or like I think that's when I realised that I was too young to have a baby after I'd had him.
Compared to older mums, teens are more prone to postnatal depression.
I've had to be with him on my own most of the time, which is quite hard because all your friends are going out and you feel really left out on that.
You feel lonely?
Yeah, definitely. Really isolated and just on your own. Gone from being a teen just to a mum.
Who judges you more, do you think? Your friends or kind of older people?
Older mums walking around. And it just makes you angry. Someone who doesn't even know you, judging you and your baby.
Teen mums get a lot of grief, and after a while they get used to it. But a walk out on the street proves a shock to me. An older woman has a go at the mums.
You're in the pavement, you get out of the pavement, you're rude, you're so rude, you're just like everyone else. And what she really wanted to say was, you're a slag. She nearly said it, but she didn't, she saw me.
See, that just proves what we get. Pardon me for pushing my buggy along the road, darling.
That's what I mean by the older people, that's what they're like with us, just because they're young.
The media makes us out to be like Vicky Pollard mums, don't they? There can be some mums like that, but I don't know many like that.
Teenage mums can be better mums than middle-aged mums. I don't think it matters how old you are.
If you had to choose between having a baby when you're 15 or 35, what would you go for?
I think 15 because still yourself, you're full of energy, you're young, and you haven't really had a life before, so you wouldn't miss anything.
Would you be upset if your kids had children at like 14, 15?
I would, because I know how much it's messed up my life. I'd never regret Jayden, ever, but I wish I'd done anything different.
But for Amber, history seems to have repeated itself.
So when did you find out you were pregnant again?
In January.
Wow.
Yeah. I decided to keep the baby because he's got the same dad as Jayden, and then Jayden would have a real brother or sister.
Did you want to have another baby?
Not now.
And already, Dad's out of the picture again.
If someone says the word daddy, if they're just having a conversation, he'll say gone. He's not even 2 and he knows he's gone. It's horrible because if one day I'm upset and I sit there and cry, he'll come over and give me a cuddle and that, and it's horrible for him to have to have to do that.
There's lots of things about being a young mum which are incredibly difficult. Very rarely do you have the support of the father. You don't have financial means to be really comfortable. You feel quite isolated, you feel judged. It's really tough for a lot of reasons.
And whilst Amber is preparing to pop out her second, I'm still really struggling with the thought that in only 6 weeks, I have to squeeze out my first.
Someone described it to me as putting both someone's hands up your bum and pulling your intestines out.
The fact that 2,000 women in the UK pop one out every day isn't doing much to reassure me.
Ever since I was small, I've been absolutely terrified of giving birth. There have been times when I've thought, I don't know if I'm ever going to have kids because I can't cope with birth.
I've come to one of the busiest maternity wards in the country to hear from some women who are pros at pushing.
Would you rather get your head trapped in a car door or have a contraction?
There's no difference.
They're the same. Would you rather be hit by this chair that I'm sitting on in the head or have a contraction?
Be hit by the chair.
Would you rather I headbutted you and all your teeth fell out or have a contraction?
They're on the same level.
It can't be. How can that be? How can Mother Nature be that cruel?
Ah, a pregnant midwife. Brilliant. She'll know how to calm me down.
And how do you feel having a baby when you're surrounded by women having babies?
Scary.
No, really? Does it make it more scary?
Probably does, because you do. Sometimes you see things that you don't really want to see.
Like what?
Dead babies and stuff like that. So I'm probably a lot more paranoid because I know what can go wrong and worried about things. And
what are your main concerns apart from?
Well, everything going wrong.
Right, thanks for that. But it's not just the birth bit that's worrying. I'm scared about losing me. I've spent my early 20s having a laugh. So how does it feel to give all that up when you're in your partying prime? I'm off to meet Sophia, who is thrilled to be pregnant at 22.
The King is exalted on high. I will praise him.
Sophia is a Christian and a member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
I'm Cherry, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hi. Look at you.
Yeah.
Do you know what you're having?
No, do you?
No. Surprise.
Why did you want a surprise?
I don't know, just thought it's just a gift anyway. We don't mind, as long as it's healthy.
For her, having a baby is about family and community.
Everyone here, obviously, they promote family life and marriage and children. For me and Stan, being quite young, getting married and having our first child, everyone's so over the moon about it.
Sophia and Stan got together in January 2007.
I think the first kiss kind of did it for us. I just felt all these fireworks and stuff. Even holding his hand, I was like, oh my gosh, if that's his hand, what else is going on with this guy, you know?
3 months later, they were engaged. And by September, they were married.
We knew that we wanted to wait until marriage to have, like, sex and stuff.
I've always felt that, you know, if I'm going to have sex with someone, it's someone that you love and you're going to share the rest of your life with.
There was never any chance of Sophia being an unmarried single mother.
So our wedding night was actually in our house, in our bed for the first time. And I remember saying to my maid of honour, oh my gosh, when I go home, what's going to happen? Like this.
Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this wonderful day.
It is incredibly rare to find a couple that's waited till they've been married to bonk.
Amen. Whoop, whoop, let's eat, yay!
And I was quite moved by their story. It was really beautiful. I suppose waiting till they're married to have sex is completely right for them. It's not right for me. And it's quite nice to know that everything works.
And at 22, Sophia has got the thumbs up from Mother Nature. The early 20s are our physical baby-making prime.
Wake up, wake up.
Hey, that's so mad.
But for her, there is one big downer about being pregnant.
I want to have sex like a normal
person.
and not have a baby in the way.
Oh my gosh, having sex like a normal person? I can't remember what that's like.
We've had to be way experimental, man.
You have to be really creative in the bedroom because there's an obstacle. Do you have better orgasms?
It's more intense, yeah. I
If
will miss that bit then.
That'll be gone. That'll be gone. Just have to get pregnant again. Maybe that's why women get have multiple pregnancies.
Maybe.
But for me, 22 just wasn't an option. I hadn't started my career or met the right guy.
She's ready to become a mum. And I'm not quite there yet.
27 is the average age to have your first baby in the UK. So at 28, I'm Miss Average. But does your age really have anything to do with feeling ready to become a mum? I'm really, really looking forward to meeting this woman because she's pretty much at the same stage of pregnancy as I am. And none of my friends are giving birth at the moment. I'm just gagging to talk to someone who is going to be able to completely relate to where I'm at right now. 5 weeks to go and I haven't got a pram, a cot or any baby kit, but I do know how I'm going to get it out. At the moment, my plans for birth are to have an epidural, gas and air, anything that's going really. So just mega pain relief. We may be similar ages, but our birth plans seem poles apart.
It came through the post. I bought it on eBay.
Performance artist Stacey plans to give birth in that. Yes, a blow-up birth pool. I tell you what puts me off about it.
What?
I know that when you give birth, you quite often do a poo.
Yeah.
I'm worried.
You won't get a sieve.
Are you going to be on poo duty?
Yeah, I've got 2 strainers.
I think I'll buy one. Should we buy another one?
Yeah.
Shall we?
How have you coped with the idea of giving birth and pregnancy? And...
I knew I wanted it to be all natural, and I think really the realisation that millions of women have done it before me for millions and millions of years, that it can't be impossible.
I know what you mean. Like, if Nicole Richie can do it, then we can do it.
Never allowed diving into this pool.
Okay, there may be an average age to have a baby.
You've made your birthing pool. Oh, it's massive!
But there's obviously no such thing as an average birth.
So you feel quite happy about all of this?
Yeah, now I've seen how high it is and it's not going to splash.
I love that you're worried about the mess. Because there's going to be blood in it as well, and poo, and who cares?
Over 20,000 women a year give birth at home in the UK.
Oh, it's quite high, isn't it?
But I'm still not completely convinced.
So you're not going to have any drugs?
Hopefully not. No, I'm planning not to. No. Raspberry leaf tea.
Really?
I just hope Stacey isn't being too optimistic. Over 40% of first-time home birth mums end up in hospital.
I've seen a cat give birth, and I know it sounds ridiculous, but that cat wasn't stressed, and that cat wasn't being told that she needed someone to help her and she needed someone to time her and examine her every 5 minutes or anything, and she just knew exactly what to do.
And I can't quite believe it, but Stacey has invited us to the birth.
So excited to see you again.
Oh, it's going to be great. Look after yourself.
And look after Mummy. Bye. Bye, see you soon.
I'm quite surprised at how appealing that pool birth is. I'm definitely considering a more natural birth after meeting her, but just considering it.
If you're in your 30s and pregnant, chances are you've planned it. But does the perfect plan make it any easier? I'm on my way to Selby in Yorkshire to meet Lee, a woman with a plan who actually stuck to it.
I wonder if I'll be jealous. She is following the schedule that I set myself.
Hi. Pleased to meet you.
Hi, Lee. Nice to meet you. How long have you had Jackson?
We've had Jackson 4 years. He was 4 in July. He's definitely the baby of our family. Jackson, good boy.
Jackson is a dog.
This way. Good boy.
30-year-old Lee may only be 16 weeks pregnant, but her baby preparations include training Jackson to cope with the new arrival.
Get down. Get down. Boy.
Leave.
Oh, that was a teeth on the arm there.
And it's lucky they started training early.
Do you think that 30 is the right age to have a baby?
For me, I've achieved everything that I wanted to achieve as a single woman. We had to be financially stable, obviously in a loving relationship. And I know this sounds really old-fashioned, but I'm glad that I'm married. We've got the same surname and, you know, we've got a house and it's our own house.
And Lee's not alone. Mums in their early 30s are the least likely to give birth outside marriage.
So I definitely think that 30 is the right age for me to have a child. I wouldn't have liked to have had one any younger because there would have been maybe a bit of resent of other things that I would have maybe still wanted to do.
More women than ever are waiting until they are over 30 to have their first child. Why? It often comes down to cash. Lee wants to be able to afford life's luxuries for her little one.
So £36 for the dual dummy.
£6.50.
And are these very popular?
Yes.
Are you tempted?
Oh yeah, I've already looked at these online. I think they're great. Oh, that's gorgeous. I really love this Toffee Moon as well.
It's £200. You would want your baby to never grow old.
Yeah.
What makes it a nappy bag?
Okay, you have all your compartments for your bottles and
£312. That's quite a lot for a bag that's just about poo, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, let's get real. This bag is a poo maintenance.
Yeah.
For Lee, giving birth is a real event. And like any big occasion, a girl needs to look her best.
Certain celebrities, mentioning no names, Tanya Ramsey, has a full spray tan before the birth, waxing, nails, toenails, eyebrow shape. I think you want to look glamorous.
It's pretty much the most unglamorous activity that a woman is going to undertake.
So at least you feel glamorous.
Yeah.
But I'm going to let you in on a little secret.
This is my first ever bikini wax, something that I have avoided for 28 years because I don't really think I can cope with the pain. Considering I'm about to give birth, I can't cope with this. I'm basically completely stuffed.
You'll be fine, you'll be fine, you'll be fine. It's all right, it's going to be all right, honestly. You're in trouble if you think that's bad.
God. Oh. Imagine if the labour was over that quickly.
I'd have 20 babies.
Yeah, I'd give birth to a small country. Easy peasy, fine. It's not going to be like that, is it?
No.
And with my new sunshine glow, I'm keen to find out more about Lee's plans for motherhood.
I'm not prepared to give up any of my lifestyle now for a child, but I'm looking forward to the child enjoying the lifestyle that me and my husband have created.
But underneath that spray tan, Lee may be just as worried as me.
It's so important for you to find time for yourself because that's what worries me about how then like postnatal depression would set in because you've obviously had so many things in your life just stop and that you haven't got time for yourself and the resentment would step in.
Do you worry about postnatal depression?
Absolutely. There's nothing in any of the baby books or advice in any magazines or anything. There's nothing. It's just like a taboo subject.
It's kind of interesting. It's almost like the younger the mum, the less of a fancy lifestyle they've had, so the less they worry about losing. Whereas the older mums have spent their money on lovely clothes, on wonderful holidays, on pampering. And actually, it's almost like they have now got that to lose.
And then I got the call.
She's giving birth!
At 2 o'clock in the morning, Stacey had gone into labour.
And how's Stacey doing? We're going to be at least another kind of 2.5, 3 hours, so hopefully we'll catch it. See you in a bit. Bye. She could give birth in the next 5 minutes. She could give birth in the next 5 hours. There's no way of knowing. I'm really scared to see someone give birth. I've never seen anything like that before in my life. In my head, there's going to be lots of screaming and blood and tearing, and it's just a horrific horror scene. I feel really nervous about seeing her. I know I'm going to have to do this in a week or so. It's just, Calm, be calm, everyone calm. Is everyone calm? Everyone calm? I'm calm. I feel fine.
Busy.
Baby in the water.
little face out. That's it.
It's a little girl.
Congratulations.
Oh my god. And her heartbeat's lovely. She's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Absolutely gorgeous.
Well done, darling. Brilliant job.
Yeah, it's nice to come back in my dream. Oh yeah, yummy. This guys. How you doing?
She's amazing. You're amazing. Yeah. That was the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
It's the most amazing thing I've ever done.
That is the nuttiest thing I have ever seen in my entire life. That is completely nuts. Fucking hell. What do you say? The minute the baby came out, she was like smiling and chatting, like going, "Hey, Jerry." And I was like, "Hi, Stacey." Well done. Oh, God, I never thought I'd say this, but I really want the baby to be here. I just want my baby. You know, I just don't feel so scared anymore. That's amazing.
Enough emotion, back to the facts. You're half as fertile at 35 than you were at 25. But despite that, loads of us are waiting because we want to focus on our careers.
This is literally the last place on earth I would expect to find a pregnant woman.
On average, women earn 9% less than blokes. After we've had a kid, that gap gets even bigger, 22%. Fitting a baby around a career can be tough. But this morning, I've got my own tussles to contend with.
Last night, me and baby had a big battle over space. So there was some serious rib kicking happening. I am so freaking tired this morning.
Yeah, between 500 and 1,000.
Tijen is 35 and 6 months pregnant with her first.
Hi,
Look
you
how
look
big you
amazing. You're tiny for 6 months.
I am tiny.
Do you work out?
I do, every day.
Every day.
Guys, I've got to take this call. 2 minutes. Good afternoon, Abertoria Residential.
She is one driven and busy lady.
Sorry. It's like it's gone really manic.
So when you found out you're pregnant, how did you feel?
I pooed myself.
You know, you poo yourself when you give birth. No. Yeah, you do. They have a special sieve for it.
Oh, stop it.
No, I swear to you. I swear, I found out and I had a cardiac arrest. You absolutely do.
No, but no, you can't do.
No, you do.
What, in front of your partner? You're going to have a poo?
in front of your partner. You can have an enema.
Right,
Just
which
where
will
they-
clear you out.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're going to get one of those, aren't you?
You're damn right.
Tijen runs a string of successful businesses. So how's it going to work with her taking maternity leave?
I'll have the baby, 2 days later I'll come back to work. In my own mind, that's how I think. Oh, it'll be fine, you know, I'll just have the baby and once it's there, I'll have a nanny or my husband will be there and he owns his own business as well, so...
Do you feel particularly maternal at the moment?
No. People generally, they're like, oh, but you should enjoy being pregnant. I'm like, why? Why do I want to enjoy being fat? And why would I enjoy looking at my boobies? My beautiful boobies have become udders. Why would I enjoy that? Of course, I love my child, and I'm going to do everything that I can. But if you wanted to carry my baby, I'd let you.
No, thanks. Thanks all the same. How much you paying?
Women over 35 are categorised by the NHS as older mums. But does increased financial and emotional stability outweigh the increased medical issues?
Thank you.
Is this the Sex in the City generation who can have it all? Why did you wait until you were 35?
I guess it wasn't the right time. I still don't know if now is the right time. After you pass 35, it becomes really difficult to conceive, and problems with your child, and Down syndrome is a lot more, and everything else. And I just thought, you know what, for the sake of another 5 years or 4 years or whatever it may be, have the child now. But I would have waited another 5 years, I think, if there wasn't so much peer pressure on the fact that, you know, once you get to 35-year-old and you're no longer a good machine to produce.
Why is she having a baby? You know, she's incredibly fulfilled by her career. I wonder whether it's just what you do.
Tejane won't be sparing any expense. She's having her baby at the Portland. And if you want to join Tejane, Posh Spice and Billie Piper, it'll set you back £10,000.
As soon as we walked in, we were like, this is it. Most by far. It's so us.
But I'm keen to know how a baby will fit into Tejane and husband Neil's life.
How is it going to work practically with Tejane at work and having a baby?
We're going to get help so that we can have a nanny, full-time nanny around us to take some of that pressure off.
Women get a lot of stick and judgment for using nannies. How do you feel about that?
I don't care.
You know, if you can afford it, then, you know, I think you'd be crazy not to, really. If Tejane changed, she wouldn't be happy. And it would ruin her life, it would ruin the relationship, it would ruin everything. So, you know, it's my aim is to make sure that Tejane does maintain what she does now and tries to carry on doing everything, not have to drop anything at all, going down the gym, shopping, going out with her friends. It's all important that she carries on doing all that.
How come you're so great?
Because he's so nice.
What are you really looking forward to about becoming a dad?
Everything. There's nothing I'm not looking forward to. There's nothing I'm looking forward to more.
Dirty
I just
nappies?
want to just... Don't care.
Don't care about dirty nappies?
Don't care at all.
So you're going to be changing them?
I could change a nappy, I could be up every night doing the feed. I'll change my life according to the baby. I really will.
He's going to be a fantastic dad. He'll be great. He'll be better than I will a mummy, I assure you.
We'll make a good team.
Yeah.
And whilst Neil is cool with becoming a dad, Tejane begins to open up about how her self-image as a sexy, powerful businesswoman is challenged by becoming a mum.
I do worry, you know, will I be a good mum? You know, give me a business any day, but with something that I've never experienced before, and that's being a mummy, that's a real concern. Because at least with a business, if it doesn't work, fold it. You know, no big deal. But with this, if it doesn't work, what do I do? I can't fold my baby.
Tejane loves her career and gets huge fulfillment from it.
Good luck, Tejane. Good luck.
She wants to have it all. And if anyone can, Tejane can. But I want to know if Tejane has a point. By waiting, are we risking our chances of having children at all? Why can't we have our babies later? I'm off to a top fertility clinic.
Are you Dr. Farris?
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
To find out why waiting until after you're 35 is such an issue.
By the time a girl is born, she's already produced all her eggs. A girl is born with about 1 million eggs.
What? So by the time a girl is born, she's already made all her eggs?
Exactly. So the age of the egg matter and the number of the eggs as well, which declines steadily. She might look young and feel young. It's the age of the eggs that makes a difference.
I was incredibly surprised to find out that women are born with all of their eggs. And then as you get older, they're dished out and they just get more and more rubbish. We're off now to meet someone who's pregnant at 40. And I think, my God, I'm so tired now and my body's just hanging in there. I can't imagine how pregnancy is going to be for her. The number of women having babies in their 40s has doubled in the last 10 years. Whilst J-Lo, Halle Berry and Nicole Kidman may be making it all look very easy, what's the reality of becoming an older mum?
For most of my life I haven't wanted children, but once I met Rick, that just totally changed.
Laura is 40 and pregnant with her first child.
So you met last year and you're already pregnant?
Yes.
So you moved things quite quickly?
We moved things very quickly because of our ages. 10 years ago I'd have said there's absolutely no way. I think a lot of it is to do with the fact that I now feel, being older, I've actually lived my life. And now I'm finally ready to settle down and actually be a parent.
Whilst Laura may be emotionally prepared for motherhood, what are the biological implications of becoming a mum over 40?
The testing for Down syndrome and so on, I've come back as a relatively high chance of having a baby with a chromosome disorder like Downs.
What's the chance?
1 in 5.
Gosh.
It's pretty high.
But was that quite scary to find out?
It wasn't. It doesn't matter what happens.
You guys are going to have the baby.
We're definitely going to have the baby.
But Laura has more long-term concerns for her child.
I worry slightly about when he's 10 years old and he's coming out of primary school and the mums are all there and I'm there. Are they going to think I'm his gran? Is he going to get teased by his mates for having an older mum?
Laura may be a late starter baby-wise, but when it comes to organising the nursery, she's beaten me hands down.
Baby room is just about pretty much complete.
Yeah, it looks great.
I got far too excited and started to buy everything.
This is really amazing. You're really ready.
Yes. When we started decorating, it was just like, OK, we're just decorating a room. And we built the cot and then we started putting the toys in it. And at that point, it was just like, this is real. This is mushy. This is going to have a baby in it.
As women get older, both mother and baby face an increased risk of pregnancy complications. And at 28 weeks, Laura is having regular checkups.
We'll have a little look at the blood flow today and check the fluid around baby, OK?
Older women are more likely to have high blood pressure, which can affect the placenta, which is what provides the baby with oxygen and nutrients.
Baby's head down today. Baby's heart beating just there, look. Little arm. You're 28 weeks, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay. This week the blood flow has changed, and so instead of seeing flow throughout the cycle, we're getting absent flow at the end, okay? And that can just mean that the placenta isn't continuing to work as well as normal, yeah? So I think what we need to do is probably give you some steroids just in case we need to deliver your baby, do some monitoring of baby, and probably just admit you for a couple of days.
Ooh, okay.
I wasn't expecting that, but...
No, nor was I. It's come as a bit of a surprise, though.
It's very difficult to predict. If it is a placental problem, what we normally see is that you see this pattern and then the blood flow gets a little bit worse and we get to a stage where baby's safer off being delivered than it is staying inside.
So if baby came out now, would you be able to look after it?
Yeah, she's over 28 weeks and it's over 500 grams. It's a small baby, still only 600 grams. And therefore it's at higher risk than a baby that's normally grown. I mean, the same concerns are there about the risk of baby having Down syndrome, which is there. And with baby not growing, that is a continuing risk, really.
The important thing is not to get stressed about it.
And that if baby came out now,
they'd do the best they can with him.
Yeah.
I'm just worried.
Yeah.
Are you glad you got each other today?
Yes. Glad he made it today.
That's really stressful. God, that's just horrible. I suppose that I haven't really appreciated properly how my pregnancy has progressed. I suppose I've been quite blasé about baby being healthy, and it's not something to be blasé about at all. I should be thanking every day.
Laura was given steroids to keep the placenta working, but they didn't help. 3 days after the scan, baby Andrew was delivered 11 weeks early and weighing less than 1.5 pounds.
It doesn't feel like I'm a mum yet, because I can only just sort of touch his foot or his hand. I can't hold him yet, and I know he's going to be in there for a very long time.
So you're over 40, you're having problems getting pregnant, you have IVF, you get a baby. It's simple, isn't it? But IVF isn't a miracle cure, and most couples who try fail.
You look amazing.
Thank you.
How old are you?
46.
But did Angela always intend to be an older mum?
So when did you and Mike decide it was time to start a family?
I was about 35, I think, and we'd been together about 6 months. I didn't get pregnant for about a year or two, and then we just went to the doctors and had the necessary investigations, and they said that I possibly would only ever get pregnant with the help of IVF.
By the time Angela was aware of her fertility problems, she was too old to get treatment on the NHS.
I had 2 rounds of IVF here in the UK, which were unsuccessful, both of them. Third time, we went over to Valencia. I had 3 embryos put in and nothing. And then the 4th time, I went to Marbella and I got pregnant. Yeah. Which was great, but it only lasted 6.5 weeks. I ended up having a miscarriage.
After 4 failed attempts costing thousands, Angela nearly gave up.
Cried to my mum down the phone. She said, no matter what happens, I'll help you. Even if I have to pay for you, I'll help you to have another go. So she did. And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be in this situation today. We went for another shot in May of this year, and it worked. Both of them, and now I'm having twins.
Gosh, that's amazing. That's so... Are you really excited?
Yeah, but I'm really anxious as well at the same time. I am. I want to jump for joy, but I can't. I just want to be realistic.
What does it mean to you to become a mum?
Everything.
12 years ago, I bought this for Ange, and I said, we was waiting for an opportunity to open it, and I said, when we started trying for children, I said, like, if we ever have a child, we'll keep this and we'll open this on that day. Obviously, at times it's come out, and we think, do we open it now? Do we not open it now? I mean, it's still there at the moment, isn't it? So hopefully we'll be opening it.
Are you excited about being a dad?
Very. And scared.
What are you scared about?
Yeah, doing it right. But to think I'm going to have 2 running about, it's a bit of a shock. But a good one.
Angela is only 18 weeks pregnant.
I think that's a boy because he looks bigger and that looks a bit more pretty in the face. That's got to be a little girl.
Delicate features. For women over 45, there's a 50% chance of miscarriage, and Angela is categorised by the NHS as high risk.
You can't get too excited. You just never know. You know, it can stop within a second. You know, 1 minute it's there, the next second it's gone. You just...
Do you wish that you'd started sooner?
Now, in hindsight, yeah. But at that time, then in my life, I wasn't ready. You know, and I think it's the wrong thing to do if you're not ready. It doesn't matter how old you are, and I don't care if people look at me and think, oh, she looks too old. I really don't care. They don't know what I've been through. They don't know the pain, the length of time I've been trying, the financial cost. They don't know anything, so I really don't care what people think.
Pregnancy can bring all of this joy and this wonder, but totally on the flip side, it can be one of the most heartbreaking things you can ever go through.
Just can't believe how different I feel than just the last 7 weeks. I think one of the things that I was scared about was that by becoming a mum, I'd lose who I was. Just don't feel like that anymore. I'm going to be a mum, but I'm still going to be Cherry. I'm still going to like poo jokes and eat and catch up with everything.
I've had 9 months to prepare for the arrival of this baby. And finally, I have the pram.
It's got a latte holder.
The baby stuff.
Then you put the nappy in there.
And you give it to your boyfriend. The know-how.
You've got a melon coming down your bottom. I mean, it's a very anal sensation.
And my birth plan.
Let your breathing be completely natural.
But D-Day came and went. And I waited. And I waited. 10 days late, they have decided to induce me.
I spent most of today just trying not to let the fear get too much. I suppose it's like when you're waiting for anything that's a bit scary, the longer you wait, the more it's hard to control the fear. Am I ready to become a mum? I don't know. I don't know. Last night, my contractions started and I didn't know whether they were contractions or not. It felt a bit like period pains. At the moment, they last about 30, 40 seconds and they're coming every kind of 4 to 5 minutes. So it's quite early labour. I'm having another one, so I'll be back in a sec. This is Mr. Gas and Air, and it's great. I had to have an epidural. Had to have one. And it's really nice.
But after 22 hours of contractions, a cesarean is my safest option.
So everyone needs a hat. Okay. Baby's crying on top of you. Looking up at you.
Yeah. Wow.
Arms coming out. Oh,
Wow.
so gorgeous.
Oh my God. I'm just going to sort her little sweetie.
Okay. There she is. I've just got to just keep a wee bit cozy. Look, she's so beautiful. Hello. Oh.
Weighing 6 pounds 13, baby Coco had arrived, and I became a mum. All the women I have met along my adventure into motherhood have their own very special stories of wonder. Paige gave birth to Lily in 7 hours without any drugs, and Mason visits once a week. And at age 17, Amber's had her second.
I'll get ya.
Sophia and Stan were blessed with a little girl, Litiana. Lee's still waddling around, and Jackson's learning fast. And Stacey and Tilia are beginning their spiritual journey together. Jen had her baby Asia slightly ahead of schedule and popped back into the office within a week. Past the 26-week mark, Angela's twins are on track and the champagne's on ice. And having spent the last 11 weeks in hospital, baby Andrew has tripled in size and is finally on his way home.
He's my baby. He's our baby.
Test results show he hasn't got Down syndrome. So is there ever a right age to have your first child? Mother Nature says it's in your early 20s. But emotionally, are you ready? I wouldn't have been. As you get older, life normally becomes a bit more stable. There's hopefully a bit more cash in the bank and someone around to push the buggy. We are no longer just baby-making machines. We have careers and choices. So really, I think it's up to us. At the end of the day, it's when you're ready. I didn't plan it and it wasn't my ideal age, but I wouldn't change it for anything.
It's completely and utterly the best thing I've ever done in my life. I mean, she's just so amazing.
And did it hurt? Like hell it did. Would I have another? We'll see.